All right, so those are a couple of these chart calls that we have for the morning. Both, Sudarshan and Mitesh fairly bullish on the frontline index, expecting, for people to hold the longs with a stop loss after a good day that we saw yesterday. Let's shift focus to the consumer space now. We did speak about Trent. We spoke about a whole host of updates that have come in. HUL saying that the business would be flat. Good performance coming in from Nykaa. DMart slightly shy of expectations, and a 30% growth coming in from Marico with margin compression as well. We are awaiting numbers coming in from Titan, Godrej Consumer, as well as Dabur. So let's see how that pans out. We do have with us Motilal Oswal's Naveen Trivedi, who is the Senior VP Research Analyst, Consumer, FMCG and Institutional Equities. Thanks a lot, Naveen, for joining in. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Of all the updates that have come in so far, what has really been a standout or stand down for you? And have you made any tweaks to your picks because of those updates?
Yeah, sure. So, Mangalam, if you look at quarter two point of view, we have been seeing that GST transition, seasonality, and some of the trade disruption is kind of impacting the primary numbers. I don't think so. The quarter two will really kind of reflect the underlying kind of a performance this quarter, because some of the winter kind of a placing will be kind of shifted from September to October, and some of the personal care companies started kind of passing the GST benefits also prior to the 22nd kind of a threshold. So a little bit kind of impact will be there in the quarter two, and we all are hopeful that the recovery which we all are kind of expecting will start from quarter three onwards. So from update side point of view, my sense here is that in the staples, certainly Marico's, because of the copra inflation which we had kind of seen on the pricing side, certainly the revenue growth on a higher side. But we need to be watchful if the EBITDA growth side, if we can start reflecting on a double-digit sort of thing in the coming quarters. So we'll be watchful on that. On the lever side, I think the September month where the transition impact was there, and then the winter replacement was not there this month, a little bit kind of postponed to October. So this will kind of have some impact into quarter two. But having said that, in our understanding, quarter two will be kind of a non-event from the understanding of the underlying demand point of view. The true reflection start from festive to how this quarter three kind of plays out to reflect the demand side.
All right. But, you spoke about the third quarter being the barometer of actual impact on consumption, and the second quarter was a washout. Hindustan Unilever has called out in its update that the demand recovery will happen only from November. October will continue to face some disruptions as well. It's among your top picks, and October is the month which had both Dussehra as well as Diwali. It's typically high consumption for a company like Hindustan Unilever. Thereafter, we'll have the ice cream business demerger, etc. as well. So do you think it's going to be weaker than expected for the third quarter for something like a lever as well? And will that reflect on all the other companies as well, where October will still face disruption?
So Mangalam, I think in their press release, they had mentioned that a little bit inventory impact will still be there in the October. So from the consumer offtake point of view, I don't think so this will have any change. Maybe primary side, depending on the category where the price packs may see some delays in the grammage additions and may take some temporary kind of different kind of a strategy. But by and large, I'm with you that maybe October may not give you the full primary kind of a benefit, but consumer side, if anything, will pick up during the festive side. I think this will kind of adjust in the inventory side. So maybe November, December from the primary placement point of view will be a true reflection. But from the consumer side, if there is any pickup in the demand because of the rate reduction and other benefits which had passed on in the last couple of months, then I think this will be a true reflection of the kind of demand side.
All right. Hi, Naveen. Good morning. Good to see you. I can see that you have an underperformed rating on Devyani as well as Sapphire. You're not too impressed at current reckoning. What if there is this buzz? What if both of them come together? If there is a merger, do you think it will be positive, or do you think it doesn't change things that much?
I don't think I will be able to comment on any futuristic sort of if that happens, or will this be positive, negative.
Yeah.
But I think the QSR itself, if you look at this, the pack is still looking out from the demand recovery point of view. I don't think the quarter two still is a reflection of what we are all are kind of expecting from the recovery point of view. Plus, on top of that, the Navratri has also kind of preponed in quarter two. So, little bit kind of a last 10 days impact will also be there in the September. So, it will also have an impact in the quarter two performance. Quarter three, we are hopeful. At least October looks good to us. Festive and some footfalls will also kind of a pick up, given the a lot of footfall is kind of a taper down in September. So we expect that that will also kind of inch up and will improve the out of home consumption. And parallelly, if other macro side of drivers, if they are kind of improving the demand, then QSR can also see some improvement in the quarter three onwards.
Right.
Okay, but if they come together, will there be some synergy benefits? Just taking it in case they do. We're not saying whether or not it will happen, but do you see some benefit?
There are possibilities are there because you may have supply side cost efficiencies, and since you have master franchisee and managing the entire asset in India, certainly you may have a better play in terms of the marketing side. So decision making will be more under control. So all these things can play out favorable if that happens, but still it's hypothetical.
All right. And I'm very curious about some of your top picks. It includes the likes of PN Gadgil as well as Restaurant Brands Asia. One would imagine that if you had to play the jewelry space, you'd play it with something like a Kalyan or maybe Titan, if not valuations, very attractive there. And then you have, in the QSR space as well, Westlife, Jubilant Foodworks are there. You don't like Devyani and Sapphire. But Restaurant Brands Asia, Burger King is something that you like. So I'm curious about those calls, PN Gadgil and RBA.
Sure. So, Manglam, if you look at PN Gargil, the since the IPO time, they have been kind of very active on the store expansion rollouts. So they were primarily in Maharashtra. Now, if you look at, they also started venturing out in MP and also UP. So the store expansion momentum is favorable. If they sustain the underlying triple SSG, which last quarter has kind of slightly on a lower side because of the preponement of Gudi Padwa and all. But this quarter looks to us that despite the base which we had kind of a custom duty impact, if they can maintain the triple SSG on a higher side, along with the kind of store rollouts which we kind of are seeing in the other markets also, I would say that they will become more and more kind of diversified from the market point of view. They're still kind of rolling out and a very the expansion plans are quite attractive. If they sustain those momentum, I think within the jewelry, so we've been kind of very bullish on the jewelry, and Kalyan also we kind of have a positive rating only. It's just like in the growth path where rollouts looks on a smoother way for Kargi, we have been kind of a bullish on that.
All right, take that point. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us your views on the entire consumer space. Look forward to having more conversations with you as the result season progresses as well. It's